We are rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Creative Businessmen. Today's episode, I'm Neil Hoover. This is
Daniel Story.
And on today's episode, we have freelance photographer and videographer Vince Fortea with us. And he does some really awesome car videos and lifestyle videos and stuff like that, sports videos. Just introduce yourself to everyone, tell us a little about what you do, and we'll go from there.
Sure. So my name is Vince Fortea. I'm 20 years old, and I'm currently a student at Appalachian State University. I do the football videos up there. You've probably seen some of their uniform videos on ESPN and stuff. That's me and my roommate do a lot of that kind of stuff. So
Nice.
I pretty much started out doing automotive work when I was 15, 16 years old, and then slowly just started branching out to different stuff like weddings and sports videos and events and stuff. So it's pretty much what I do.
It's awesome. It's crazy to see someone that's figured out something they love like that, like you do, at such a young age.
Yeah, for sure.
You started a pretty successful business.
Yeah, definitely got lucky for sure. Because I mean, as kids, we pick up different stuff. It's kind of like different in different phases, but luckily, photography and videography just stuck with me, and so it's something that I love doing every day. So.
That's awesome. You're good at it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he did this. He does like really unique things too. But he did the building that came down in Virginia. You remember that?
Yeah, the demolition. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So, yeah, they got a couple of shots on that. I think we were recording. We were doing something, and then we finished up, and then you literally I don't know, like the next morning you had to leave at like 4 a.m. to be
To
up
go to
there.
Virginia.
To be
Yeah.
up
So
there,
that was an implosion for D.H. Griffin. So it's the destruction company. I was second shooting for a buddy that has a drone company. So
Nice.
it's pretty cool because like when you go to those events, it's super exclusive. Like whoever can be out there, like, I mean, obviously you can go watch from far, but for you to be like that close to that kind of stuff, it's like, I mean, not that many people get to experience that kind of
Very cool.
stuff. So.
Well, let's show the video you just shot for Daniel. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On
I had a
us.
lot of fun editing that.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So on
yeah.
IG, we did. He did a 60-second version for me, so that I could put on IG without having to do IGTV. And then, so on his YouTube channel, what's your YouTube channel?
VF Media. Yeah.
VF
it's just
Media. So if you just search
Nice.
on YouTube, just VF Media, and you'll be able to pull it up. But there's a 3.5 minute version.
Yep.
But so you get the full effect. Yep.
Ready to go.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
It's still going.
Oh.
That was my favorite spot, I think, right there. Yeah,
Nice.
so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, had a lot of fun doing it.
So I got to tell you, so like, I was used to it by this point, but Vince has got his what I imagine it's basically his book bag on, right? And he's got his book bag on, and he's got it basically tethered to the back of the headrest inside of his vehicle, and then the trunk is open basically. And like, so we went out and shot. Now it wasn't like cold. We actually got really good weather.
Yeah, we definitely lucked out on weather that day.
Yeah, so we made it work, but it was funny to have the top down, and like we did the day shoot, and we rode around for, I don't know, man, what did we do, like
It was a while.
I don't know, 2 hours, I don't know, several hours,
Yeah.
a long time, right? And then we got all this footage, and then Vince is, and I was already prepared for it, but like he's literally hanging out of the back of the vehicle, and there were points where whatever speed, right? But I felt like I was literally trying to get as close to the back as we could.
Oh, yeah.
And from my view, it felt like his feet were like literally about to touch the hood. It was pretty
Yeah.
hot.
Oh, yeah.
It probably wasn't that close, but it felt like close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
So, but yeah, it was interesting. And then we took a small break, and then we met up again for that night shoot. And that parking lot, that building, apparently they just finished that building, but that building's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, the lighting in there was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool spot.
Yeah, and then that was where there was a picture with a dad. I think his name was Alex, but there was the father that came in with his daughter, and that was where they had stopped and kind of got us, and that was fun too. So we did the daughter got a few shots, and then the dad and I got in and did some half-ass donuts in the parking lot. So it's fun.
Yeah.
So when did you start VF Media?
So basically, all of high school, like I was pretty interested in doing the video and photo stuff, but obviously as a high schooler, you don't have that much stuff to work with.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just like worked with what I had. I had a camera that my mom gave me. It was like an old Nikon camera. And so basically like, I basically picked up photography and videography because back in 2016, we had that hurricane. And that hurricane ended up taking out my house and the whole neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
And so at this point, I was just about to get my license, and the car that I was gonna get got flooded. So I wasn't able to have a car. So like at that point, it was just super rough for me, just because I was looking forward to getting my license, being a car guy.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm just gonna try to find something in the meantime that'll like kind of just keep me occupied. And so I picked up that camera and I started going to car meets. And at this point, like I wasn't old enough to drive yet, and so I would just have friends pick me up, go to car meets and stuff, and that's where I met a lot of the friends that I have now. And so from there, I just started, meeting new people, making connections, and eventually I started booking shoots. And so this was around, 2016, and so I do that all through high school, and then I get to college, go to App State, and at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm going to school for this kind of stuff. So I'm majoring in electronic media and broadcasting. And so I'm like, all right, this is the time where, I kind of have to take things seriously. And so at the time I had a Genesis Coupe. I don't know if you remember that. And that thing was my baby. I put a lot of time and money into that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't really working at the time, so I didn't really have a lot of money. So I was like, I'm going to sell this car, and I'm going to buy my dream camera setup. And that's honestly probably the best decision I've ever made in my life. Because had I not done that, I wouldn't have, invested in myself and, had the content that I have now, because I would have been stuck with my old gear. But looking forward now, I did the same exact thing. I had a E36 with a Cobra swap in it, and I bought that for my birthday last year. Put a decent amount of money into it, and then there was a camera that was just coming out, the Sony A7 III, which is what I filmed that video on. And I was like, it's time to upgrade this camera again. And so I sold that car, used that money to buy this camera stuff. So basically, like, I don't know, it's almost like it's a cycle, but I always try to put everything back into my business.
That's
so
a good
big thing.
Good business behavior.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's a young hustler, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
How many videos have you shot so far? Or produced?
Honestly, a lot. 2019 was by far my best year. I think in between the time that I got out of my freshman year to when I started my sophomore year, I want to say I did just over 120 shoots. So that's
Wow.
videos and pictures. But yeah, I grinded that whole summer. That was the first time I'd ever traveled out west by myself. I went to California. I went to Colorado, Florida. That California trip was pretty cool because I took my friend Miller and Max with me, and that's where we met Daily Driven Exotics and Alex Troy. But basically, like, I don't know, I just like going on trips because at the same time, like, I'm working, but at the same time, it's vacation for me. But that's probably my favorite thing about what I do is I get to travel all over the world and get to meet new people. But yeah, I want to say, my goal every year is to do at least 75 shoots, and doing 100 in that 2-3 month period was huge for me.
Yeah.
But now that I'm starting to kind of develop more of like a business model, I'm starting to do more bigger jobs as we go. So I'm not doing as many small jobs, but I'm doing less jobs, but they pay more, the bigger projects. Yeah. So, yep.
That's awesome, man. I think you're gonna be pretty famous one day in that field.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. So I have about a year and a half left of school, and my goal is to move down to Charlotte and start a production company down there. So.
Good move.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're pretty close to Atlanta there too.
Yeah, it's not too far. Actually, I have a job offer in Atlanta. I actually just got off the phone with someone last night. So it's these guys that went to SCAD, and they both dropped out. But basically, they started a production company, and they're kind of working with a exotic car company called J&J Exotics. I don't know if you heard about that, but basically they just started this summer, and right now they're doing a lot of real estate and like automotive stuff, and they're looking for an automotive specialist. So they offered me a job down there, but I don't know. It's cool. I definitely have considered living in Atlanta, but for now, I don't know, Charlotte, it's pretty close to Boone and not too far from home. So definitely want to.
It's only 3 hours from Atlanta too.
It's not far at all. It's in a good spot, and the weather is not too bad, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
So
now your business is sustaining your lifestyle too, right?
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, for the most part. It's kind of hard, honestly, where I'm at school. Being up in the mountains, obviously I specialize. I say I specialize in automotive stuff, but slowly it's kind of shying away from that just because up in Boone, I mean, there's not really a huge car community just because it snows so much, and it's generally if you take out all the students that live there, it's just a bunch of old people, So, I mean, there are nice cars, but they're like S classes and that kind of stuff. So it's really hard to do shoots out there. So most of my shoots that I do for VF Media, I have to travel Charlotte, Raleigh, Fayetteville. But I don't mind. But yeah, I try to have it go hand in hand with my lifestyle. And I try to make the most out of that during the summers. But during school, I just do whatever I can. It kind of helps though because I still get to travel with the football team.
Oh yeah.
And I get to do some stuff in that aspect, but
yeah, you do some sports stuff too, right?
Yeah. So I do the football stuff. I actually just I stepped away from that for this upcoming year because I wanted to focus my senior year on actually getting serious into building, an actual company with this and having people work for me. So I don't know. I just feel like I got what I needed out of the football thing, and we weren't getting paid to do it. I was working 50 to 60 hours, and I wasn't. It got to the point where it's either I prioritize football, I prioritize school, or my business. It couldn't be, it couldn't be all three. So I just had to make the sacrifice, and I feel like that's what's best for me for right now. So
that's good.
Yeah, they volunteer, so it's all the work he did, everything for the whole time is just all volunteer work.
Yeah.
All exploitation.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's the word I was going to use.
It's crazy because so every year we compete in this thing called the Savvy Awards, and my roommate Max Renfro is the head of video production there. And since he joined and I joined, we've won 3 Savvy Awards in a row. And these awards are on the same level as an Emmy Award.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we compete with schools like Penn State, South Carolina, Clemson, and all those guys are full pay. People that work there are full time. These guys are 25, 26. We're over here working for free, and we're kicking everyone's ass. But I think that's a good thing, though, because,
credibility, man.
When you're doing stuff like that, for me and Max, we've talked about this before, but we do this stuff because we were just, we like doing it, and we like helping out the program, and, I mean, it's shown. We've gotten we've flipped a lot of recruits from big Power 5 schools. But, it does suck not getting the recognition that, we feel like we deserve and getting paid for it. But at the end of the day, we're building a portfolio, and, I mean, out of, I want to say 20,000 students, there's a group of 5 of us that do this in the school. I feel like it's a good privilege to have,
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's building credibility in your brand and what you do.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's an investment.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I think
I don't regret it at all.
Didn't you do a video on TikTok or something, you and your buddies, that got 1 million hits or something?
Oh, so that was my roommate, Max. So we did a uniform uniform reveal of one of our players getting out of it was a waterfall, and it was super cold. This was I want to say September or October, and the water in Boone is always cold because it runs off the mountain. And so we had him basically coming out of the water, the football floating, coming out of the water, just super I don't know, I want to compare it to kind of a Walking Dead type thing almost. But that blew up all over the internet. It made it on SportsCenter, all the college football pages. I think on Max's TikTok, I believe it has 9 million views.
Wow.
Yeah. So he actually made $500 off of TikTok from that video alone. So,
wow.
I mean, that's what got him into the Creator Fund. But yeah, it's stuff like that. I mean, the cool thing about Boone is that we have resources that other schools don't have. Like, we have the scenery and stuff. So we try to make the most of that kind of stuff when we do our uniform videos for sure. Like we did another video right when the season started for snowboarding. We did one up at the ski mountain of the player. We had an all white uniform that weekend, and it was just him pretty much walking the snow, and it looked super cool because like the top of the lift looked like one of the Star Wars things, and it was cool. We actually made it on Golf Digest. I don't know why it was on a golf blog, but it was like Appalachian State, and it has the most badass uniform video of all time or something. But it was cool. Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
So just so people can know where you come from, what was your childhood like?
So I was born in the Philippines.
Oh, interesting.
So I lived there until I was 5. And then my dad, so my parents are both in the medical field. So my dad's a physical therapist, and my mom's a surgical nurse. So my dad came out first. He had a work visa, so he came out here, started working in North Carolina, and then we followed shortly after. And I've been here ever since. So yeah, like this whole photo and video thing actually I didn't pick it up until, like I said, like 15, 16. I always wanted to go to school for engineering.
Oh.
I actually plan on going to school for mechanical engineering at UNC Charlotte. Because I always wanted to get into motorsports racing, but hopefully one day I'll get into racing. That's still one of my biggest goals.
Well, I mean, there's a big need for videography and racing.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just pretty much how it is. I mean, my parents definitely weren't supportive at first. They wanted me to, obviously, kind of stereotypical, they wanted me to be in the medical field. But, yeah, I guess, honestly, one of the things that really fueled me was my mom was like, you're never going to make money from photography. And then 2019 went off, and I was like, yeah, this is serious.
Like, watch me now.
Yeah. So now they're just like, all right, just, do whatever you want.
I think we've all had those conversations with our parents.
Yeah.
Yep.
For kids.
Oh, yeah. So.
Did you ever watch growing up? Did you like movies that involved like a lot of racing and like?
Oh yeah,
stuff like Mad Max and like I'm thinking of like Crank too. When I heard about you like doing crazy shots and stuff.
Yeah, I love movies like that. I mean, obviously like. Every car guy would say they like watching the Fast and Furious series, but
sure,
like honestly anything that involves like any sort of like high action driving, like Baby Driver, and I love that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's also like being a videographer. It's like when you watch movies, it's like, oh, how do they achieve the shot, or how do they do this? So it's like adds a whole nother aspect to when you watch these kind of films, especially when you're involved with cars, because that's what I love doing. So.
Yeah, some of those movies, a lot of that stuff's not even real.
Yeah. So it's like, how can I do this without CGI? Like, try your best to do it. But
I always wanted to build one of those camera cars. I have the perfect car for it. I'm trying to hold on. I need a new car, but it's perfect to just tear apart and put a crane on it and run the cables through it. Those things. Have you ever gotten to work on one of those vehicles?
No,
I haven't yet myself.
So the big reason that I have my setup is because I actually I met this dude on Instagram, and he's like, hey, if you ever need access to one of these crane cars, like, hit me up. But he didn't realize, like, I'm like, at the time I was like 18, I couldn't afford that. So I was like, I'm going to see what I can do. And so, like, it's funny because the shots that I get are, like, literally the exact same. Like, besides getting the back shot of the car, like, the way that I do it is, like, it's 90% of what those big $50,000 cranes can do. But the thing is, like, can't be going down the road, going 150 miles an hour on the back of the car. That's where those things shine. But I definitely down the road, I would love to have one of those setups. It's just so badass. Like, imagine going on a rally.
What's it cost to rent one of those?
I don't even know. I'm sure it's a lot, but to get the crane alone without the camera is like $50,000.
Plus, you need you need a guy to drive the car. You need a guy to control the crane. You need a guy to control the camera. Then you need a guy to pull the focus. So 4 people.
Yeah, so it's
Plus,
a whole.
You probably need some permits if they see you driving that car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it definitely takes a team to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the way we're doing it's working.
Yeah, one-man team.
One-man team.
Two-man team because we need a driver.
Yeah.
Kendall did a fantastic job.
She killed it,
yeah,
bro.
she really did.
Do you have some kind of a gimbal or something that you use?
Yeah. So I went lighter. So the first time we shot, I had to run an M, which was the two-handed gimbal, but I broke my leg recently, and I was trying to keep weight off of it, so I used my smaller handheld gimbal. But yeah, so I basically just I have it's a military grade, like it's what they use for when they jump out of planes, but it's like a tether, goes onto my backpack, wear the backpack, and then I just hold on as tight as I can to my gimbal, because if I drop that thing, that's going.
Yeah.
I'm staying, but that thing can.
How did you break your leg?
So.
When did you break your leg?
You gotta tell them what led up to it though, because like you were fucking.
So, being up in Boone, snowboarding and skiing up there is huge.
Oh,
right?
Sure, yeah.
And so I picked it up last year, just because I did social media for Beach Mountain, and so I started slowly liking it a lot more. And then this year, with us being all in online school, I'm like, I can go whenever I want now because I don't have to be in class really. So I just went literally like every single day, right? And when the year started, I started hitting the park. And I never skateboarded or anything before, so I'm like, oh god, like I'm gonna break something. So the same week I started, I ran into an X Games gold medalist, Zeb Powell. He's actually from North Carolina too, but he won the knuckle huck last year at the X Games, and kid's super good. I mean, he went to school in Vermont for snowboarding, so the dude's super good. But basically, there's this 44-foot ramp. And I'd never hit it before because I literally just started hitting the little small one. And I was like, so heated moment. I was like, holy crap, like this dude's like, hot shit or whatever. So I was like, dang, like I can't, I can't look like a little baby out here. So he's like, yo, you want to hit this jump with me? I was like, yeah, why not? So he's like, yeah, just follow me. He's like, have you ever hit this jump before? I was like, absolutely not. He was like, no, you got it. He's like, just don't overthink it. So I hit this jump, or he goes first, just hits it regular. I hit this jump, and as soon as I enter that ramp, I go toe first, and I was like, oh shoot. And so I leaned back. I did a backflip off of that ramp, landed straight on my leg and on my butt. And they were like, oh shoot. Like that video, I think it probably has like over 2 million views combined on social media. It's everywhere. I actually just made it on a big snowboarding blog recently, but yeah, so that happened, and I walked away from that perfectly fine. I was like, dang, nice. No bruises, no nothing. And like they were about to call ski patrol because they thought I broke my leg or broke something, and I was fine. So 2 days later, I go back to the same exact jump, do the same thing, except I land on my arm. Oh. And I was like, oh no, we're good. I walked away from that just fine. So at this point, I'm like, oh shoot, like my luck is really on my side right now. So I still hit park for another 2-3 weeks, and then at this point, I'd been doing nothing but park for 8 hours a day for 3 weeks, right? And then I go with my friend to Sugar Mountain. I don't go there a lot. So I just went to Sugar Mountain, went with my friend. We do a speed run. Very first run, there's these 2 kids sitting in the middle of the run. Literally like right on the corner. And at this point, I was going 45 miles an hour, 40, 45. Wow. And I had to stop. And so when you're stopping on uneven snow, like it starts catching and you start, grabbing air. And so I slid my heel out and then caught the edge of my board, and I went over my board and broke my leg. Oh. And this was like still kind of at the top of the run, so I had to snowboard down a whole mile, all the way down to ski patrol. And then from there, they were like, "Oh, it looks to be a cramp because nothing. Your leg isn't hanging off." So they pulled the boot off of my foot, and that's what did more damage than I feel like the actual break because all my muscles on my leg were like all messed up, like they were popping and stuff. Oh. And so
where did you break it at?
Right here, my fibula. But it didn't break all the way.
Just broke his snowboarding a couple weeks ago.
Really?
He's 40 and he was trying to hang with some of these expert snowboarders.
Yeah.
And I think he was on skis, but he was going through one of their, I guess the faster tracks. What do they call them?
The Black Diamond or the Blue.
Yeah, something like that. And he went over this little jump and somehow twisted and snapped he broke his fibula and his tibia.
Oh dang! Yeah, luckily mine didn't break all the way through. Yeah. But it definitely sucks just not being able to, be as active because I live a very, I'm always up there at Boone. I'm always hiking, doing something.
I can't believe you don't have a cast or anything.
Yeah, they had me on a boot, but I'm really stubborn. So I was in that boot for about 2 weeks, and I was like, I can start walking on this. And then
that's the biggest bone in your lower leg.
Yeah, I went to the ortho last week, and they're like, "Where's your boot?" I was like, I think I'll be fine. Yeah. They're like, they're like, it's fine. Like, as long as you can walk on it, it's fine. They're just like, just try not to jump or anything.
Right,
His ninja walk's still on point.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Because, the Lambo was the first thing I've shot all year, especially, since I broke my leg. And so it really sucked when I did break my leg. Not because I couldn't snowboard, but it was like, oh, shoot, like, I'm not going to be able to shoot anything. Because 2 weeks after I broke my leg, I actually had a really big opportunity to shoot for Sugar Mountain where I broke my leg. And I was supposed to do DP, and I was supposed to shoot on a red camera. And I'd never shot on a red camera before, so that's always something I've always wanted to do.
I just bought one. I love it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're sick. So I had, I could have had the chance to shoot on one, and they're like, hey, like, we'd love to have you do it. And they're like, so yeah, I kind of just, fractured my fibula. I was like, I'll be happy to help if I can just go, like walk around. They're like, oh, we need you to do follow shots on the snowboard. And I was like, oh, dang, this sucks. So it was really, it was really discouraging not being able to, shoot for whatever period it was, like the month or 2, because I had to turn down a lot of opportunities. But
it could be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Flying around on a snowboard with a red.
Oh yeah, so the first time, let's
liability.
see, I think that first week I started hitting park, I had my full rig. It cost, it's about a $10,000 rig, and I just bought this snowboard. First time I rode this snowboard, and so I had this it's a 10-pound rig on my right hand, and so my balance was all off. So I'm trying to go around because I was making a video for my friends. Literally the first turn, falls straight on my face, and my rig falls apart. My battery goes flying. I'm like, oh shoot. So I was like, all right, maybe I got to get good at snowboarding first before I try this on a camera again. But I don't know. Nothing broke, so it's all good.
That's good. Yeah.
It's all fun.
Yeah.
I don't really, I don't get too salty.
So
about
that's the problem of being 20 years old. Your fear connections haven't developed yet, so you just go for it too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like that though.
It's like if I did a backflip off of a 40-foot jump accidentally, I would be very thankful that I'm okay, and I would never do it again.
The funny thing about that was, obviously I wasn't intending to do a backflip. All my weight was just on my back.
Right.
The crazy thing was if you watch this video over again, you can see I did a full rotation. But the reason I didn't land it was because my eyes were closed. If I would have looked, if I would have looked at where I was and bent my knees, I would have landed that jump.
See, I'm 40. If I would have landed, I would have broke both my legs.
Bro, if you would have landed that,
dude,
backflip, 40 foot.
See, the thing is, it's one thing doing a backflip, right? But it's another thing when there's an X Games gold medalist going before you. So had I landed that, I would have just shown that kid up, yeah, what's up, I'm not a gold medalist, but I can do this. But yeah, it was fun.
We need to shoot that up and just take a look at that. Where's that at?
It's on my Instagram. It's on my personal and Fresh as Vince.
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
Let me glance at this real quick.
That's cool.
Let me see. I might better shoot it up there.
Well, I don't think we don't have a camera on this TV right now.
Fair enough.
But if you can,
It's on the wide,
Oh,
And
it
I
is.
Yeah.
it's on the wide shot.
Oh, okay.
You can see it,
Yeah, I got you.
Let's
I'm
see.
gonna send it to your Instagram. Let's see.
If you send it to Jesse, you can probably pull it up on the computer.
Or, yeah.
What's the Instagram? What do I send it to?
Can you access Instagram on that computer?
I'm not set up for that.
Yeah, I don't think we're on there yet.
Let's see. I'll send it to Daniel.
It's not on YouTube or nothing like that, I guess.
It's on a. Let's see. It's on that blog, actually. Yeah, there we go. Right there. So here he goes. He hits his jump like it's nothing, And then here we go.
Nice.
Boom.
That was awesome, though. It looked really good.
Yeah.
Oh!
It was.
Vince, it looks like you were doing it on purpose, bro.
Yeah, that was unintentional, but,
You're actually doing a almost like a varial or something, right?
Yeah, I messed up so bad that it turned out good, almost. So bad.
God, it'd been so awesome if you landed that.
I know, I had my eyes closed. I was like, oh, I'm going to break my neck.
It's great looking until we're right there.
Yeah.
That's good shit, man.
Good form though, right?
Yeah, not bad for my first time. Not bad.
I can watch that forever.
And that's not the one that broke his leg.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Uh,
Yeah, you actually broke your leg with something kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I was.
You're trying to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything cool though.
So
it
it was
wasn't
those-
on video.
it was
wasn't
those
anything.
kids' fault, man. They were posted up in the middle of the runway. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny, dude. That was good. So anyway, you said that's got a ton of views though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think it has like a couple 100,000 on TikTok. I posted on TikTok a couple times, and then Zeb posted on his story, and it got a lot of views. So.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. But now we got in the works. Hopefully here soon we're gonna do a boat video.
Oh, nice.
We got to get a little bit warmer because it's cold as fuck outside now.
Yeah.
On the water anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking about doing that, and then the Urus is in, so maybe that video, and just keep doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just for fun. Neil needs to do something.
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
I'm always down to create some cool content. So.
Yeah, we talked about like some different kind of like face off, kind of like different stuff.
Lifestyle type.
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? We got all the resources to do. You might as well make the most out of it, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So what do you got coming up right now?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm just at this point. I'm just trying to finish up this semester of school, just because everything's really, it's not the professor's fault, but it's just hard. Everything being online, like their structures are all different and stuff, and so it's just stuff that we're not all used to. But other than school, like I'm just trying to get back in the hang of shooting regularly again. These winter months are always hard just because it's slow for everybody. But as the summer picks up, hopefully I'll start traveling more and getting more gigs. But definitely want to try to shoot more cars pretty soon. I had a blast shooting your car. That was like I said, it was the first time I've shot anything in probably 3 or 4 months. I want to say 3 months. So
yeah.
Did the pandemic affect your stuff very
a
much?
little bit. It affected me in the travel aspect. I had a lot of trips planned, but shooting wise, I don't want to say it was a pandemic, also just because I was also busy with school and then the couple side jobs that I had. But I'd say it did, but not as bad as obviously other small business owners. I'm luckily I I don't have an office or anything that I work out of, and I just work on my own hours.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Definitely proud that I get to work on whenever I want and get to travel whenever, pretty much on my own call.
Yeah. It's usually low groups of people.
Yeah.
Like you and maybe another person and the client.
Yeah,
so.
keep it pretty small.
Yeah, because you're an entrepreneur, but you're also an artist.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Yep. So
That's good.
Definitely. Yeah, he's done quite a bit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They had this. I don't know. I almost felt like you guys were doing like this, like a DDE-esque thing too.
That's like I would love to get into that one day. I have a lot of friends that have some pretty cool cars and stuff. But thank you. I've got friends that have really cool cars, and obviously I have the camera equipment to do it. It's just a matter of getting content and being able to do stuff. Get in trouble with the cops and stuff. But
That's part of it.
I feel like we're young. We can get away with that kind of stuff right now. But yeah, that's I feel like now, like a bunch of kids growing up, like they want to do the whole YouTube thing, but I don't know. With me, it's kind of different because I film for these guys to do stuff, so it's another different kind of view on stuff. But yeah, that time that I hung out with DDE though, I was like, that's crazy. And also the crazy thing about that is, up to that point that I saw them, these guys had uploaded every day for like the past 3 or 4 months. We go out there, hang out with them. Literally like 3-4 hours straight of nonstop, like wreaking havoc through downtown LA, down 2nd Street tunnels, and we actually ran into Young Dolph's music video. All his camo cars were there, and little Terrio was out there, and we ran into them. And we get to the end of the night, and Dave and Damon go up to Alex, and they're like, we don't have enough footage to make a video. I'm like, what do you mean? We just spent like the last 3 hours just doing crazy stuff around LA, but I guess that wasn't enough footage for them. And that the next morning they didn't upload. And I was like, wow, what are the odds, But
Wow.
yeah, it was cool. It was cool getting to hang out with them though, because I mean, I've watched these guys since 2016, 17. It's cool. Like, it's cool being able to witness what goes behind the scenes of these these big influencers and stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy though, because like the law of attraction, like it exists.
I agree.
Because I came out there strictly to make hopefully to meet new people. Like I didn't have any shoots booked out there. I just hey, I got 2 friends. I was like, hey, do y'all want to go out to LA just to see if we can meet new people? And so literally for the first 2 nights we stayed on Radio Drive from 1 to 3 a.m. hoping that they would just come by and drive so we can see them. And so I DM Alex Choi, and he's literally within 30 minutes of responding, he's like, hey, you can come hang out with us for the night if you want. It's crazy. I would have never expected that to happen.
That's awesome.
Because it was also crazy because it wasn't just Alex, it wasn't just DDE, it was Tall Guy Car Reviews was there. There was another kid named Andre, he had an R8 out there. And then I don't know if you know who GA Automotive is. He had his turbo Porsche out there, but it's a whole group of guys, and I was like, holy crap, what's going on? But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Hopefully I'll get to come out to LA again and experience something like that. Now that I've got that that connection.
No, definitely. I'm supposed to be out in LA. I think the 2nd week of March, and I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah.
I was actually going to talk to you about it. I was like, not this trip, but the next one. I'm gonna have to get you to roll with me.
Yeah, that'd be fun for sure.
There's a couple of people out there that I think we could have some fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love California. Just the lifestyle out there. There was just living life and stuff, but it just costs so much to live out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait a little while. I think, I think there's good and bad about everywhere.
Yeah,
The things that I would be attracted to in California, I don't think I can deal with all the other negative stuff that's going on right currently. But that being said, it's going to be nice to visit there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I don't know. I mean, that same statement could be true about so many states right now.
Yeah.
It's just chaos in a lot of places.
Oh, it's like you pick that state. Oh, it's good, and then like sudden weather change. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're totally
Texas is
fucked.
really
Yeah,
going through
Texas.
right
Yeah, historic freeze. Never at once in 100 years, right? Like it's like I can't remember who was telling us that somebody in their backyard, they had just spent like $400,000 put in this badass pool and this whole like basically created an oasis in their backyard, right? And he's from, I believe he's from like upstate New York, and so anyway, he's got a video of his kids ice skating on his pool, right? Like in full hockey gear, like just skating on the ice, and it's in Texas.
Yeah, it's crazy. I watched a video. I think it was on Instagram. It was on my reels. These guys were like skiing in the middle of the road in like Dallas. I was like, we can't even do that in Boone.
I know.
We don't get enough snow in Boone for that. We get snow in Boone, but not enough for the roads to be fully covered like that.
Then it melted immediately, and like now everybody's like covered in water everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a mess out there.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I would have said the same thing. I mean, so it's just there's so much going on. I'm like, and I travel constantly, so I get a fix of being outside of North Carolina.
Yeah.
But on a pretty regular basis, but when you start thinking about places you'd like to live, like California used to be one of the ones that came to mind because of that. What's it called?
Well, it's the Sun Belt, and then you've got the weather's just good there. That's why the film industry started there. But now it's always on fire. Kind of not a great place
I was
to
gonna
live.
say,
The taxes suck.
I was gonna say now I'm just, I don't know, but I like Florida, but I like Florida during the winter.
Yeah.
Like I like the Gulf better than I do the East Coast, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I like it during the winter months because I can still go out and shorts and a t-shirt, and I can still get in the water. It's a little bit cold, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Well, the water's always calm too on
That's
that
right.
side.
On the Gulf, it's always calm. I like it a lot better. So, and the powdery beaches, like so, I'm like, oh, I like it then. But then there are other times like I like New York.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think I just need to be in a lot of places.
New York's great because it's got all that life going on at
Yeah.
once. It's just always happening. It doesn't stop. I remember I was there. I almost had a long time. I went a bunch of times, but one time I almost had like a panic attack. And I think it was just for the reason that I realized this place will not shut up. It just goes. It's just on all the time.
It's crazy because I was just there almost a year ago today. I was there for spring break last year. And so Hudson Yards, the new business district, they have that new building called The Edge. And we were literally like the last ones to have our reservation there before it shut down. So we were there so we got back to North Carolina, and the day after we got back, they were like, everyone that's here has to stay here. So we would have been stuck there for a little while. But it's just crazy because, me and my friends went out to a bar, and like that bar is not even open anymore. So it's like, it's crazy like how fast things can just progress, in a year. Like we were out there, and at this point, like not everyone was even wearing masks. So like back in March. And now it's crazy. But
yeah, because around that time I was at I believe I was at Disney World. I'd have to go back and look, but literally we shut Disney World down. So it was crazy to go because the first part of the trip, like it was slammed, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say day 6, day 5, day 6, all of a sudden the park was like half empty.
yeah.
And there was all this news about the pandemic and all this sort of stuff, and we just kept on rolling. And we were there the very last day that it was open before it closed.
Yeah.
And got to see all the fireworks. You got to see everything. And I'm telling you, like, if there was maybe 10% capacity, it was just basically like ghost town.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. And we kept on riding, kept on doing our thing. And we're coming home. And then, the next day, and by this point, California had already closed their Disneyland, Disney World. And it was so crazy. We were kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We got back to North Carolina, and the proverbial shit had hit the fan.
Yeah, we got to New York the first day, and our taxi was like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we're like, "We're just here for spring break." He's like, "You guys need to get out of here because you're gonna get stuck here." We're like, "Well, we're here for 5 days. What happens." But it was
right.
cool. Yeah.
That's right, man.
I would have loved to see New York though,
Yeah.
with Times Square empty, just being able to capture that, that's
Yeah.
something that I don't think we'll ever, witness again, hopefully. But
Yeah. My last trip
crazy.
there, man, I think where you stay makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
But my last trip there where it was full New York, like no hold back. I can see what Jesse was saying about being overwhelmed because like you just open the curtain, right? Like it's just nonstop.
Yeah. Like it's the noise.
Yeah, the noise, the
pollution and everything.
Yeah.
It's always something going on.
Yeah. So and my oldest son was rock climbing in Central Park. We had no gear, no nothing, no pads, and I was just like, oh yeah. I'm like real. I try not to be, but I'm extremely spontaneous. Like, oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
You just don't think it through sometimes. I still have that. Anyway, so he's like climbing up Central Park, bouldering basically with no gear, and like he gets stuck at a spot and it's wet, the rock's wet, everything, and it's no gear, and I like ran, I don't know how, my version of ran up the thing and just like jumped over one of the cracks and then just worked my way up, and I got up before I thought about it. I was up just underneath him, just enough to give him some support so that he could get his shoes off, because the
soles.
Yeah, well, because the rain, there was water coming out of the rock, so it's really slippery, and his shoes were sliding really bad. He couldn't get traction.
Yeah.
So I just gave him enough support to where he could take his shoes off, and then he was able to climb out because he could basically was sticking. And so then now I'm up on the side of this boulder, and like I can't move, and now I'm a little wet, and I got to get my shoes off, and like I literally like pulled my shirt up. I've got my skin on the rock because I want to stick to it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like glued to the side of this mountain, like all right. And then finally, it took me like 45 minutes to get to not to go to the top, to work my way around.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was brutal, but it was fun. It was fun. But that was my last trip to New York. We had a blast, but yeah, it was a little crazy. No more bouldering in Central Park without gear.
That's fun.
So it was a good memory though. Yep. So, man, we got to do some other stuff though.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I was going to ask you, because obviously I originally met you through Tanner, right? How did you link up with Tanner? Was that part of those?
So, basically, Raymond?
Yeah. Raymond.
Nee?
Yeah. Yep.
So, I'd followed him kind of right when I started, like 2016-ish. So, I started following Raymond, and I was like, oh, this kid's pretty cool. Like, maybe I'll get to shoot one of his cars one day. And then, I guess I just come across it on Instagram, but I saw a picture of Tanner driving the M4, the gray M4 that he had.
Right.
And then I was like, I just DM'd Tanner. I was like, hey, like, nice. I thought it was his. I was like, nice M4. Like, I'd love to shoot it one day. And he was like, oh, actually, it's not mine, but it's my buddy Raymond's. And so I think that's when we kind of connected, because he got me connected with Raymond, and I eventually got to do a video for him. So then we did that video. We hung out. And after that, like, I just stayed connected. And then my senior year of high school, I remember I had my Genesis. I'd just gotten it fixed because I blew the motor in it. And then I was in class. I was in the middle of class. And texts me, goes, what are you doing today? I was like, I got school. He's like, would you want to come to Greensboro? I was like, sure, why not? Why not? I'm a senior. Whatever. This next class doesn't matter. So I told my teacher I was going to the bathroom, dipped, go to Greensboro. And he's like, do you want to go to Atlanta? I was like, we're driving there? He's like, no, we'll fly there. I was like, okay. So then he has me meet him at where I do the private jets.
Right.
And so I was like, whoa. And then we ended up flying a Citation X. We flew one down to Atlanta, and we got picked up by one of his buddies that also does e-commerce. And then we met Ed Bullion, VinWiki, and I was like, how did I even get here? Like, I was supposed to be in school today. My mom doesn't even know I'm here. And Tanner was like, oh, dude, I freaking love this. So I took pictures for him that day. He got to talk to Ed and interview him and stuff. And I got to see the VinWiki headquarters, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was like we got there probably by noon. We spent the day there. Probably we were there for like 5 hours. Then we flew back that night, and then I remember I drove back that was the first time. I think this is probably the first time Tanner's driven manual in a while. Because I remember I had him drive my Genesis back to his house, and it was the funniest thing ever. Because like that clutch was so hard, and you just like go all over the place. I have a video of it on my phone, but it was one of the funniest moments ever because he was freaking geeking out. But yeah, I got back home at like 11:30. My mom was like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "Oh, I went to a football game." I didn't go anywhere. And then she eventually saw a picture of me getting off the private jet. She's like, "It's photoshopped." I was like, "Yeah, it was photoshopped. Yeah, didn't go anywhere." But yeah, that was probably one of the craziest moments in high school. It definitely was, getting a text like, "Hey, do you want to go to Atlanta?" Like, it was so random.
Yeah.
But
I see those are the best memories though, man.
yeah,
I'm a firm believer. Like some of those times when you're making a decision that, like that, those are the best. Some of the best stuff comes from that. That's the good shit.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like me and my friend, like up there in Boone, like, most App State is known for having like potheads and kind of stuff. But like up there, like me and my friends, like literally like any nice day, we'll go to the river. We'll go to the waterfalls, go hiking. Like there's so much like opportunity for you to go out and like explore nature and like appreciate what nature has to offer. So like we'll be in class and I'll just be like, "Hey, like do you want to go catch a sunset like on Roan Mountain," which is like a whole like 2 hours away. But
you can't beat the Parkway.
No, not at all. It's beautiful up there. I mean, like I'm blessed to be living in a place where people go to vacation. Yeah. But at the same time, it's annoying when everyone's up there. But
yeah,
I lived there for like 8 years between there and Banner Elk. I love it, but I'm really glad not to be around the snow anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that snow gets old after a while for sure.
Yeah.
It's always salted for no reason. Like I don't know. I mean, it's good that they're on top of their maintenance with the roads, but it's a little it gets old after a while for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good. But I'd rather be up there in the snow than the heat in Fayetteville and the heat.
Oh
yeah, it's awful over there.
I am. That being said, I'm definitely looking forward to spring, man. We got some good weather we shot over the weekend.
Yeah.
We've actually had a couple of nice days today. Neil and I went hiking a couple times this week already.
Yep.
And Summerfield and in High Point and so I mean, like I've been out and I want to go catch some stuff, man. I may hit you up.
So before Tanner moved to Arizona, I actually took him on a hike to Boone, up there in Boone on the Parkway, and I got like probably the best picture I've ever gotten of the Linco Viaduct that same day because it was around peak week. And I remember we did this hike. It was the Rough Ridge hike, and it was that rock. You've probably seen pictures of it, but it's a rock where people hang off of.
Yeah.
He was wearing like all white Yeezys. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? And it's like wet. It's like the ground's wet. There's mud everywhere. But yeah, it was a fun time. Let me try to find that picture though. Yeah, it's beautiful up there. I mean, in the fall, like the color just it comes out perfectly.
Well, the North Carolina mountains are the most biodiverse forest in the country. Yeah. Well, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, the Great Smoky Mountains. Which,
here's that picture I took that day.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Yeah.
It's crazy. So.
Hold it up again in front of you. In front of you.
Oh, in front of me right
Towards
here?
the camera. Towards your camera.
Oh, towards the camera.
There
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Oh, I know that place. There's a lot of great pictures taken there. Yeah.
Yep. So funny story with this this exact spot. I came here to do light trail pictures one night, and it was super windy. And where you go to take that picture, it's like a round rock. It's not flat at all, so it's pretty sketchy. And it's I want to say probably like a 25, 30-foot drop, and it goes right on the road on the Parkway where the viaduct starts. And so it was like probably 10 o'clock, and I was with my roommate and my roommates and his girlfriend. So we were just out there trying to get long exposure pictures, and I literally had my camera on the tripod, and it was like the legs were all different size because it wasn't flat. And I turn around to go get something from my pocket, and my camera just falls off.
Oh.
And I was like, that just happened. And I just bought this lens. It was like a $1,500 lens. This is right when I bought my new camera. Luckily it wasn't my new camera because it hadn't come in yet. But I had 2 tripod plates on it because I have a cage on it. I had one on the side and one on the bottom. And there were chunks taken off of the plates. So had those plates not been on there, my lens would have been cut clean off of that thing. But like I looked down and I was like I was in shock. Like I was like,
you're a lucky guy, man.
That just happened.
You really are.
And it fell in like mud, and I was like, oh shoot, like what the heck? And I looked at it, and I was like, there's no way, there's nothing wrong with this. And there was like a tiny scratch, like it fell down the face of a rock, like 30 feet down, and then it was weird because I picked it up and there was a Donald Trump case, like just a phone case, on the ground beside it. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep this just because it reminds me of when I dropped it. So then a few days later, I hung out with one of my friends. And he's like, "What is that phone case?" And I was like, "I found it when I dropped my camera." He's like, "I went hiking with my friend and he lost his case last week." And I was like, "Oh, here you go." This is funny. No, but yeah, I definitely got lucky. That was definitely like an oh shit moment. I was like, "Oh, there goes my job." I thought for sure it was done for, and I came down there, and everything was fine.
Daniel had a pretty terrifying moment 2 years ago on a rounded rock up in New York, right?
Yeah, that's what we were actually.
Before you lost the weight.
We were just talking about that, actually.
The rock climbing.
Of bouldering. Yeah, we were literally just talking about that.
Yep.
We literally just talked about that. That's
you
funny.
actually got pretty lucky on that one, too.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those rocks get slippery. I went hiking. There's this. It's not an official hike. I wouldn't recommend anyone to go, but it's called Boulder Field. It's right before the viaduct, and basically, like, you have to bushwhack to get all the way up there. But it is like I'm gonna try to pull up a picture of it, but I never tell anyone where it is because technically you're not allowed to hike on it. But when it's foggy, it literally looks like you're in another like planet. Like, look at that.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get to that?
I would say 20 minutes.
That's not bad.
But it's straight up. So, like, see how it's like all rocks?
Yeah.
It's like that the whole way up.
Are you actually climbing up rocks?
Yeah, like not like rock climbing, but you just gotta like. I mean, there's a like you follow like some sort of. It's not
There's
really
a
a trail, but there's kind of a path, and then you
Okay.
just climb up rocks to get up to the top.
Yeah.
But this one morning, I guess it was the same morning that we went to this. But super foggy. We were trying to catch a sunrise. I don't know why we were catching a sunrise when it was foggy, but we just came up there. And I remember I was trying to grip this rock to get myself up to this other bigger rock. And there was like a hole like 15 feet like down, and it's black. Like, you can't see anything in there. It's like whatever drops in there, like, good luck. You're not going to find it. And so I was like, shoot, like I was wearing shoes that were not like the best for it. And my friends were already up there, and I was the last one. And I had my bag weighing me down because my bag, like, I had all my camera equipment. So I was like probably 15 pounds on my back. And I leaned back and I let go and I fell through the hole.
Oh.
Perfectly. And I like closed my eyes and I was like, I'm dead.
You always close your eyes, too.
I closed my eyes. I was like, I'm dead. And I was like, this is like, I got lucky because I'm super skinny. If I had been like 150, 60 pounds, I would have like not been able to fit through there. But I penciled through that perfectly. I don't know how. And I remember looking up, and my friends were like, "Where did Vince go?" And I was like, "I'm in this black hole. Can y'all find me?" And they're like, "How the hell did you end up down there?" I was like, "Dude, I slipped." And I couldn't get out for like, I don't know, 20 minutes. I had to go all the way around. But I was like, holy crap. Because there was a rock behind me that I could have my head on. And then obviously the rock that I was on, I just fell straight down this hole.
What did you land on?
I couldn't see. It was black. Probably leaves. I don't know. It was kind of soft, so I'm guessing it was leaves.
Lucky man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
You're like Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. Just always falling and doing crazy shit but never get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep.
That's funny.
I guess I just bounce around.
Yeah, I want to skip the 20-foot fall through the hole. Like, I want to go.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll take you to the one I took Tanner on. Just don't wear Yeezys.
Yeah, no Yeezys. Yeah.
So with your profession, you're doing something you really love to do. You're passionate about it. You're really never going to work a day in your life because you're always going to be doing something that you're really passionate about.
That's the plan.
But outside of that, what kind of hobbies do you have, or what's your main hobby?
Honestly, other than like traveling, like, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, like, I really do enjoy traveling. Like, even if it's just, the thing about Boone is we're on the corner. And like corner of the state. So like freshman year, me and my friends would literally just go to the Tennessee state line or Virginia state line just cause, But yeah, traveling is probably my number one favorite thing to do in my pastime. But also I picked up snowboarding recently.
Which still ties into photography.
Yeah.
Videography.
I have my camera with me everywhere I go. So it somehow it does tie to work because it builds my portfolio wherever I go. But yeah, other than that, I mean, cars will always be, if it wasn't for cars, I wouldn't have picked up cameras.
Is there any kind of thing you want to do, like take your cinematography to another level or something you kind of taste of, or what?
I've always said that my end goal would be to make like car commercials, like the Dodge commercials. You know how they always have the high action drifting? Like, I want to be like the DP of that or the director. Like,
nice.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all just one of my small goals. Like hopefully one day I'll be able to contract with actual big car companies to do kind of stuff like that. But also just I don't necessarily want to make movies, but like, kind of like short film kind of stuff, like film festival maybe type stuff one day.
Right. Would you be for hire for like, if like a road war movie was happening in North Carolina, just by hypothetically as an operator or something like that?
I'm always down to shoot different stuff. And the thing with me is like obviously I'm super young, I'm 20 years old. And so every opportunity that I get, like, let's say, I love doing cars, doing sports, but if it's something that's like completely out of the ordinary and I'm like, all right, maybe I don't want to do this. Like I always end up doing it because you never know who you're going to meet on set.
Yeah.
And you get to learn different stuff that you're not familiarized with. Like with me always being around cars, it's always the same thing, same people, same techniques. Everything is kind of the same. But like when you're hopping into stuff that you're not familiar with, like let's say that demolition. I've never done that before, and it was just cool because like you get to meet like the head of DH Griffin and like see how structured they are with their workers and how they do stuff. It's just cool like being able to witness different processes that normally people don't see and that kind of aspect. But yeah.
Well, you have a good eye for it too, and plus you're in school for it as well, so you're learning from other professionals and you're just sharpening that skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have a weird view on school though, because for me personally, like with my skill set, with my major, like I'm still so far ahead of all my classes. Like last year I just took video 1, but like I had to help my professor teach that class because he was just so behind on different stuff. And honestly, I don't think that I'll get much value out of my major, but at the same time I don't regret it because I did get the job with football and I got to meet new people. So I mean, I'm thankful for that aspect, but like I personally don't think that my diploma will get me, closer to where I want to be, because that major that I'm in, like, they always stress like, oh, if you want to work for this, like,
right.
I don't want to work for anyone.
Well, I found with like,
I'm working for myself.
I went to film school, and my thing is like, it's what you get out of it.
Yeah.
There's not a filmmaking factory down the street when you graduate.
I agree.
Anything like that. You just it's what your will is, and it's what you do while you're in school.
Yeah.
I had plenty of friends that complained all the time, but they weren't doing anything.
Exactly.
So you got access to all this equipment. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yep. No, I definitely agree. College is 100% what you make out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously your parents can force you to go to college.
Yeah.
But with me, I'm not gonna say they didn't force me to go to college. But here I am at App State. But like I'm just thankful that I do have the opportunities that I have up there while I'm in college, and being able to work and get my education at the same time is not something everyone can say that they're able to do.
Right.
I think the biggest advantage of college for an artist, especially a media artist, like I have a degree in graphic design, is just learning composition.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest.
Yeah.
Like for me, in as an artist, in the graphic design art or any art, it's all the same. It's all about composition and color theory and those types of things that you really need those foundations, whether you learn them in school or on your own. But I think school is from an artist perspective, that's a really important benefit.
Yeah.
The other stuff is maybe not applicable to everybody, but those things are all artists follow those same principles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the basics. That, and also like the aspect of you being able to work with other students and seeing how, because in the creative world, like there's so many ways to do different things. Like to get the shot that we were getting, the rolling shots, obviously you could do the crane or the dolly, or like there's never one right way to do stuff in the creative world.
Yeah.
There's always, even though there's two similar ways, one guy might do it a little bit different. Like
Always.
you can take a single picture and give it to 50 different people, and all 50 will be different.
Yep.
I have an example of that. Remember when we took pictures of your car at the airport?
Yeah.
I have this one picture that I got, and I did 2 completely different edits of them. And I think that's the perfect example of this, because I don't even you remember that?
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember like which one was my favorite, because they're both pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a great point, though. I remember when I was in design school, it's one of the first things they taught us is you will never have an idea that's better than sharing your idea with other artists and collaborating with that idea, because you have multiple brains.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with your own work, you're missing certain aspects of it that other people will see, or you're giving you give other people ideas to share with you. So that's, I think, school helps you a lot with kind of letting go of some of that ownership of your work.
Right.
Yeah. So here's that picture right there. So there's the first
awesome
edit that I
picture,
did.
Give it to the camera, please.
Here, put it right here. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, there we go.
And then same exact picture, completely different mood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the favorite thing. That's probably my favorite thing about like both photo and video is like you can literally make anything you want with whatever content that you're provided. Like I mean, it's also like the thing is for pictures, it's how you edit the pictures. But like for the video, it's like there's so many things that goes into it, like how you edit it, the music that you use, how you do the cuts,
Style of shooting.
Yeah.
So that's probably the thing that I value most in my classes is being able to see, like, obviously I'm a lot more advanced than the other students that are in there, but like seeing how they're learning this completely brand new compared to me that I've already known how to do this. Like, it's cool seeing how they're interpreting what they're learning.
Do you find yourself like collaborating, helping the other students
Yeah.
and working with them and stuff? And that's kind of, you can learn a lot doing that.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I kind of take pride in my classes. Like, a lot of the people that are in my classes, like, it's kind of a small program. It's one of the fastest growing programs at App State, but at the same time, it's still pretty small. So, like, most of the people there already know me because of the football stuff. But whenever there's, like, a project that I know that probably someone will, like, struggle on, like, I always offer, like, hey, if you guys ever need help with shooting or anything, like, I'm always happy to help. Just because I know, like, right now, especially in this pandemic, it's not easy learning stuff not in person. Like, watching something through a Zoom class doesn't translate to, you know, it's just by nature. Like, you're more likely to learn something in person than, like, listening to it, you know, through a screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have helped some people with different projects before, and I'm always open to helping people. Like, even if it's not in my class, like, if there's someone learning, like, I know, like, the thing about, like, the automotive, like, photo and video community is, like, people are always talking down on each other, which kind of doesn't make any sense because, like, we're all kind of in the same community. But like with me, like, if I see someone that just started out, like, doing this kind of stuff, like, I was there at 1.2. So it's like, if you ever need help with any, like, tips or, you know, any resources, like, I'm always happy to give them stuff. Like, a lot of people don't give away spots, and, like, if it's a trespassing spot, obviously I won't give it away because I don't want to get in trouble. But, like, people are so secretive about different, like, locations. I'm like, go ahead and, like, I'll tell you. It's not like a secret. Like,
yeah.
The only people that are, you know, secretive about that stuff are, like, people that are insecure about it because they're like, oh, this person's stuff's gonna be better than mine. But you only think that if you think it's better than it. You know,
your
it's
stuff's
like
probably gonna be better anyway.
So.
I'd say you got a pretty cool group though, because a lot of times, like, I'll hit them up. And he'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have so and so help me shoot, and even last time you had
I had my buddy Daniel.
Yeah,
super. He actually he's a student up at App too, but he's a big car guy, so he really appreciated that.
Yeah,
your work's really impressive, man. It's like when I watch your videos, it reminds me of like a music producer or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it's cut,
and
it all just flows so seamlessly, and it's
so probably my style for my videos is like most of my videos are super cinematic. That's just one thing. Like, I prefer a clean cut cinematic video over one with, like, crazy transitions and all that, because I just feel like that's kind of like too, like, I don't know, influencer kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just not too big of a fan of that because I structure my videos off of, like, big films that I like, so it's super cinematic. And one thing that I always do in all my videos is I always cut to music. So, like, the different shots that I got of your Lambo, it cuts
right
to the
on
beat,
the music, and,
like, the shot of you doing the first flyby is, like, right when the first beat dropped, and so that's like probably my trademark for all my videos. So that's if you ever watch one of my videos, you'll see that all of my videos are cut to music.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and just in case you guys didn't catch it earlier, on my Instagram, it's only this 60-second version. It's one he kind of shortened down for Instagram, but you can definitely get on VF Media on YouTube and watch the full It's about 3.5 minutes, but and get the full effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was very impressed as usual.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I like I said, it's been a while since I shot a car, so I was like, I gotta go hard on this one.
Yeah.
And then I, like, looked at the footage and I was like, holy crap, like, this is some commercial time. Like, it looked so good. I almost didn't believe it. I was like, holy crap.
Oh yeah.
I had 12 layers of video on my timeline and then 7 layers of audio. It looked like a barcode. Yeah, it was cool. That's
awesome.
That's one of my favorite things. Like, whenever I finish an edit, it's like seeing, like, how complex, like, my edits are.
It looks like DNA. Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of feature films, and it's just like, oh my God, all that pain just, like, laid out over an hour
and
and
you're
a
like,
half.
when did this happen? Like, it just showed up out of nowhere. But yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
what's the biggest project you've shot so far?
Honestly, I feel like they're all, like, kind of in the same kind of, I don't know. I would say, like, I don't know about big, but, like, the most impact I would say are all my football videos, just because you know the fans and even the players, like, they thrive off that. Like, they see that game day and they're like, yeah, we're gonna fuck this team up. But yeah, like probably my football videos are probably like my favorite ones.
Do those videos have like that sort of motivational feel?
Yeah,
to it
so
too?
we
It's
make
very
a
progressive and like
they make we make a motivational video that goes out before every game. So the players they'll show up in the morning and then they'll eat breakfast, go to the middle and pray, and then they'll go in the room and watch the video, and then from there they walk out on the field. So it's like, I mean, so our motivational is basically it's like the highlights from last week, and then it's usually like like a speaker talking and like super cinematic, super dramatic, like super
That's
inspiring
awesome.
stuff.
that's
But
cool.
yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's my favorite thing about making those videos is just seeing how it translates to the fans, the alum, the players, and that kind of stuff. Because I mean that stuff gets like it goes like on game days. Like you see those videos like even on the big screen. Like I remember last year I made a fourth quarter video on the big screen, and it was like super hype. Like all the players like working out, the plates hitting, and like the coach yelling at them like how hard do you want to get it? And then like it cuts to like a shot of like this dude hitting the crap out of this wide receiver, and then it just goes black, and the crowd just goes like, I mean 30,000 people just go crazy. I'm like,
That's
I
amazing.
made that. It's just like, there's like the sort of satisfaction you get from watching that kind of stuff. It's just like
Yeah, that's
feels
a big
good.
deal.
But yeah, those are probably like they're not like too big of projects, but like definitely like the most positive impact.
They have 30,000 people watch this. It's a big project.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say probably I don't know the uniform videos probably have the most views though out of everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that my roommate Max does most of that stuff, and then I just do the behind the scenes kind of shooting and then the pictures. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I can't remember. I think this was you. Were you the one that shot the rap video and the guy pointed the gun? Did you do that? Or you let it talk? Did you do a rap shoot and then?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
I did that. Oh my God, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I remember like my very first music video I had. It was back in Fayetteville, and then it was just like, hey, you want to come shoot a music video for me? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And it was just like so like unorganized. They're like, oh yeah, come shoot this. And he's like, my boy's about to come out with like some weed, and I was like, just come shoot this. And I was like, all right. And then like we're wrapping up, and he's like, all right, we're about to get on the rooftop and just shoot this. And I'm like shooting up, and there's like Glocks pointed at me. I'm like,
Whoa.
all right.
Well, we're glad you're still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be a career
Yeah.
ender right there.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I'll do whatever it takes for me to get, like experience and stuff. Even though it's even if I have to go through stuff like that, like not saying I'll do it again. But
it's funny when you're shooting and someone draws a gun on you. I've had cops do it on me before, so
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good either
yeah,
way.
it's definitely like, oh. Well, also the thing with me, I don't know what it is, but I'm really, really scared of heights. I've always been scared of heights. But for some odd reason, when I have a camera in my hand,
I could tell on the video if you're doing a backflip. Off
Yeah. Off the 40-foot jump.
When I have a camera in
Is that
my
why you close your
hand,
eyes?
I like don't get scared of anything. Like I could be like on the side of like 100-foot drop with my camera in my hand. I'll be like, I'll do it for the shot. But like if I don't have my camera in my hand, like, gotta pay me $1 million to go out there. No, but yeah, like I don't know why. Like fear just doesn't. Like when I hang out of a car, like when I'm completely like comfortable with it.
Listen, he's like hanging out the back of the car like, I'm not gonna say how fast, however fast we were going. He's hanging out the back of the car. He's like, at one point he's got Facebook Live going. He's got the stuff going on. He's like adjusting, he's getting like different shots and getting angles. He's checking. I don't know what the hell he's doing all his stuff right while we're driving down the highway, hanging out the back of it. It's funny for me because I've joked with him before. I'm like, App State student ran over by. So like I'm all like very cognizant of that, like and aware of it, and so I'm trying to like get my phone up just to take a little picture because we're so close.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, put your phone down.
Yeah, no, literally like I had my phone beside me.
Oh yeah.
My camera, my other camera here, and all my like my mounts and stuff, and like none of that's strapped in there. So like, if Kendall was driving and she like slammed on her brakes, everything would just slide out of there.
Yeah. Kendall did
No,
awesome.
she did fine.
Yeah.
I mean, she did perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better driver.
Yeah, she did great.
She really nailed it. That video definitely wouldn't have been as good without her driving.
Yeah, she did this little video on TikTok, and it was like,
Like what goes in my head during the shoot.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh God, is he gonna fall out? The car's really bright. The car's loud. Yeah, it was
Cargo zoom.
Yeah.
I was like,
Have you ever been to VIR to do any shoots or anything?
No, I've been really wanting to.
You should. Yeah.
But I've been off, like, so I have a bunch of buddies that race up there. And so that's why I want to get an M3 because I want to get like involved in the BMW club up there because they always go up there and do stuff. But eventually, hopefully, after college, I'll go up there. But yeah, I've always wanted to shoot up there, but I've just never been able to.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
You definitely should. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I
You
agree.
need to go up there too. And
I need to go. He's been telling me to go. I need to go as
driving.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll pick some cars and go up there.
We
Yeah.
need to go up there and do the Ariel Adams School.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I was supposed to go down there like my senior year because they had like some charity labs event, and I was gonna take my Genesis, but something came up and I wasn't able to go. But
You know enough car people. There's always stuff going on.
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah. They're always inviting me to places, but I'm
Yeah.
always in Boone doing stuff. So, but yeah, hopefully like this summer, hopefully, or even the spring,
Yeah.
hopefully I'll be able to come out there.
Definitely.
Well, dude, you're super inspirational, man. And
appreciate it.
all the young people watching you, they need to be inspired by you and know that if they have a passion or they know something
yeah.
they really like to do,
Yep.
just keep pursuing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, how much time do you spend a day on what you do?
Definitely not as much as before, just because I already have something established for me. But like, I'm always on my phone. So like, a regular person should be on their phone, like on social media. But every time I'm on social media, I'm like, how can I reach out to this person to get to where I want to be?
Yeah.
That's always my like when I'm scrolling on like even TikTok nowadays. Like in the next few years, like TikTok is gonna blow up, and so I'm trying to ride that wave. But like, you always have to be looking for the next opportunity because it's out there. I mean, like the thing with where we're like, what people don't realize is we're in an era right now where like, especially for creatives, like you don't need like a college education or like you don't need all you really have to have is like your portfolio, and you just got to be able to learn because like all these guys, like all these influencers that you see on social media, like they're always looking for someone to do work for them. Like it's just a connection away.
Yeah.
And so that's just like, that's something that I want to like reiterate to people that are just like starting out. Cause I mean, it's not easy starting out, being a creative. So you just have to like be willing to reach out to people and,
Well, you have to put a lot of work in to
oh yeah.
I guess to sharpen the art,
I'm
art
always,
or the craft.
I probably spend,
yeah.
I want to say at least like 5 to 7 hours a week, like just going on YouTube and like looking up different things that I don't know, just because it never hurts to learn different stuff.
Right.
But yeah, one thing is you always have to be a student to the game. There's no matter how you can be the best director and best videographer in the world, but like there's always going to be something new that comes out, especially with all the the new technology we have. Like what we're working with now is not going to be the same in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, it's going to be totally different in 10 years.
Right. Like you could be Steven Spielberg.
It's
for all I
exponential,
care, there would be something new coming out in the next couple of years. You just got to stay on top of it.
Yep.
You may be shooting videos with your mind in 10 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So,
yeah.
but well, dude, it's been awesome having you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Like I said, you're
Definitely.
very inspirational, and hope people get a lot out of this. And
Definitely.
Yeah.
if you guys enjoyed the episode, be sure to like and subscribe. Give Vince a follow on social media. Go check out his YouTube page.
Yep,
like
VF
and
Media.
subscribe.
Yep.
And
It's VF Media and then Fresh as Vince.
It's so my Instagram is v.f.media, and then my personal, where I post more of my lifestyle kind of stuff, is Fresh as Vince.
Awesome.
But yeah, I post a lot on Fresh as Vince all the time, so that's probably
Cool.
content that more people would want to see. So VF Media is mostly just it's strictly just my car stuff. But
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, if you guys enjoyed the episode, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Not too bad, right?
Yeah, that was fun.